In today's video, we're talking about stock imagery. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today, I want to talk to you about stock imagery and why you might want to start creating your own library of stock for your own personal use or for commercial use. So when we say stock imagery, most people tend to think about sites such as Shutterstock, Adobe Stock, Getty Images, that sort of thing. That's not what I'm talking to you about today. Today I'm just talking about creating a library of assets or stock imagery for yourself for either your personal work or your commercial work. And the reason you might want to do this is that at some point, if you're getting started in photography, I mean certainly in commercial photography, you're going to find that you're going to want to incorporate components from one photograph into another photograph as part of your final image. So a common example of this would be a sky replacement. If you are working on a commercial image for a client and it's an outdoor setting, most likely the sky that's going to be in the final image is probably not going to be the one that was there at the time. You're going to photograph the sky separately and then Photoshop that sky into your final image at a later stage in Photoshop during the editing. Now that's a very simple and common example, but most commercial photographs that you see, like the big advertising ones, most of those, they're not shot in one scene, they're shot separately, and then they use a technical compositing, which is when you grab components from different images and then you put them together to form a brand new image. So as your photography progresses and your editing progresses, this is something that you're most likely going to want to do sometime in the future. And that's when it's really handy to have a library of assets and images that you can use in your own work. Now you might be thinking, well, I could just download something from a stock site or from the internet and use that in my own work. But I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you may want to consider just starting your own library, because I think it's going to help you out in the long run. Okay, so the first reason is price. And if you're going to use somebody else's work, then you're going to have to pay for it. Now, there's 3 different tiers when it comes to stock imagery. The first one would be the free platforms, such as unsplash.com. I don't like them, and I'll go into why in a second in the next reason. But you can get images there for free. And then on top of that, you've got your micro stock sites. So these are sites such as Shutterstock, iStockPhoto, Adobe Stock, where they sell you images as part of a subscription. You can buy individual images, but they can be $60, $70 per image, or you can subscribe to their service and they give you a certain number of images per month as part of your subscription. Then on top of that, you've got the most expensive ones, which are your high-level stock sites. These are more of the traditional, back from the film days, stock site. The work is of a very high quality. You need to be very good in order to be able to qualify to sell images on those sites. But I'm talking about sites such as Corbin Images, which I think now is owned by, I think it's Getty Images. And then you've got Offset, so that's another one that's a very high quality. And for those images, you're going to have to pay hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars, in order to use their work. But there is a very distinct quality between all the 3 levels, and then they charge accordingly. So if you start photographing for your own private collection of assets, then obviously that's the best choice, because you don't have to pay anyone anything and you don't have to give yourself a license. So there's no one controlling what you do with your own images. The second reason is a commercial reason. Simply put, you just cannot sell other people's work or even a component of other people's work. And I know that there's been instances in the past where people have done it and they've been caught. It's not only illegal, but it's also immoral. You just can't sell somebody else's stuff for a profit. And so this is where having your own library of your own assets, that means that you've got nothing to worry about. Everything belongs to you, and then you can do whatever you want with that work. Now, there are sites that claim to issue you a license where you can use somebody else's work or a component of their work as part of your final image that you can then sell on. And what I will say is that you want to tread carefully with this. Again, just because something is not illegal, it doesn't make it immoral. And so tread carefully. I would strongly recommend against doing this because I just think it's wrong. And also, you know, it's just why put yourself at risk? Just use your own assets, and then you won't have anything to worry about. The third reason is sometimes you need an imperfect shot. What do I mean by that? Let's have a look at this photograph. So this is a bottle of gin, and it is photographed at a bar. But this is actually two shots. So the bar was shot separately to the bottle. And those two shots were then blended in together in Photoshop. But what I needed for this was a blurry photograph of a bar. And if you go into any image stock site, you're not going to be able to find that because technically speaking, the photograph is not technically correct. And so it's never going to get accepted to one of these libraries. And this is an example of where you need to bring your own shot into your own assets into the equation. Now you could get a photograph of a bar and then just apply some blurriness to it, but it's never going to look, in my opinion, it's never going to look as good as if you do it straight out of camera. Blurriness like that bokeh that you get from a really good quality lens, you're just never going to be able to get as good a result as that. And so this is where sometimes you need to get access to these imperfect shots from you know, it could be an unflattering angle, but that's what you need for your final product. And so this is why when I shoot stock, I always get different variations of the same thing. Often I do it with my phone. I think phones are good enough now to actually capture stock imagery. And but what I will do is I will focus on different things. I'll get blurry images, I'll get sharp images, and then I will also zoom in and out and just get different perspectives, as many variations as I can, in order to get a really good solid library of images. Now, if you are going to start shooting stock for yourself, and I recommend that you do, what I will tell you is try to keyword your images as part of your importing process. So keywording is really important when you're looking for those images. So doing it as you bring in the images into your computer is probably the best time to do it. It's fresh in your head, and you can just do it then and it's done. If you don't, I'm willing to bet that you're probably not going to go back ever and do that again. So just do them at that point and then it's done. Keywording the images is also really important because at some point you might decide that you might want to upload some of these files to a stock site so that if somebody wants to use your photographs, you get paid for it. And those keywords are how those people are going to find your photographs. So with Lightroom, there is an option in there where if the keywords exist in Lightroom, you can just include that as part of your export so that they're included in the file, which means you don't have to do it twice. And apart from that, if you're going to start using your own work, you're just going to remember that you've got a specific photo, whatever it is that you need. So you're working on something and you need a picture of a tree, and you're going to remember that, you know, 2 years ago in that holiday you saw that really cool tree, and that's the one that you're going to use. So you already know roughly what's in your library, which makes it easier to find things because you go, okay, I shot that when I was on holidays. I'll just go and look at my holiday photographs. I know it's somewhere in there. So it makes it a lot easier to find. So guys, that's it. I hope you start doing this. I think it's really worth the effort and you're going to find it really valuable in the future. Now, if you like this video, please don't forget to give the video a like. That's probably the best way to support me and support the channel. And it also tells me that I'm making the kind of videos that you enjoy watching. So please, yeah, click that like button. You'll be doing me a very, very big favor. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, don't forget to do so. I make videos like this to help you with your photography every week. So if you don't want to miss any of them, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and that way you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. And finally, don't forget about ministryoffphoto.com. That's where you're going to find links to all of my videos. There's reviews, there's some tutorials. You're even going to find some downloads, some free downloads, things like Lightroom presets, for example. It's completely free, so make sure you check it out. That's ministryoffphoto.com. Anyway, guys, that's everything for this video. If you have any questions, the comment section below is probably the best place to get in touch with me. Otherwise, you can reach out on any of the usual social media platforms. There'll be links in the description so you can find them in there. Again, please don't forget to like the video. I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.